tonight to officially launch the book is Minister Noel Dempsey.
Thank you very much. I think the first time I met Michael was on a golf course, believe it or not, and he refuses to tell me how we finished, whether I took the money off him. That day I remember Ronan was with me, Ronan McKenna here was with me. I don't know if we had a fourth, Michael, it was just the three of us, was it?
You said it, I said to you after the fifth, I'll be in the golf and you run the country.
Yeah, that's right. A reflection of my golf rather than his. But I said to Ronan afterwards, because I hadn't been in Michael's company for previous to that for any period of time anyway, that I can recall, that he was a nice fella. And after reading the book, I have to change my view of him. I think he's a great fella. To be as he is, having gone through what's chronicled here, is just a remarkable, remarkable achievement. It really underlines a strength of character and a strength of spirit that I don't think too many of us have. I think very, very few of us have. And the chronicle of his life in St. Joseph's, if you could call it a life, and even when he went through that, got out the far side of it, went working, doing all of the different things that he did, and even up to 1981, when he had thought anyway he'd put an awful lot of this life behind him and wanted to become a medical doctor, having had to abandon the idea of being a priest as he outlined in the thing, to find in 1980 Ireland the kind of prejudice that he found when he went to try and become a medical doctor. This isn't easy reading for most of the book, but it should be compulsory, I think, for an awful lot of us. But all of the things that he chronicles, I'm not going to go into any kind of detail in it, but it really, we should all read it. We should all hang our heads in shame. Because this didn't happen, Michael, as you rightly say, just because the Catholic Church or the religious orders were involved in these institutions. This happened because society let it happen. And we can all wash our hands now, and we can blame the church, and we can blame this one, and we can blame that one. But the society at the time let it happen. And that comes through in your book, as it is. So as I said, I have come through all of that, and I don't want to be very morbid about it or anything else, but I think it needs to be recognised. And I take the point that Michael is waiting. When I was dealing with the institutional abuse as Minister for Education and Science and the Ryan report, the one thing, and Michael says this in his book as well, the one thing that people that survived all of that wanted was to be believed, to be heard and to be believed. And decisions that were made, whether it's in the Catholic Archdiocese, the most recent report, or in the case of the Ryan report, a delay in putting those stories into the public domain doesn't serve anybody good. And while I respect what you're saying, Michael, there is an audit going on in relation to all of the dioceses. I think the quicker that's finished, which it will be finished early in the new year, the better it will be, and then we can know where the allegations are, and then go after those investigations as much and as quickly as we can, to give those that are brave enough, like Michael, to come forward, tell their story, to give them the chance to be heard, to be listened to, and to be believed. That would be just my contrary view to what you say. But anyway, I don't want to divert on that. The book is really well written. and that's not plough moss. It's insofar as you can say a book like this is easy to read. It is easy to read because of the way it's written, and the sincerity and the truth of it comes out right through the book itself. And in the midst of all of the ugly abuse that's in there, there's certain things that Michael highlights that kind of makes everything shining lights, if you like. And whether it was the Tommy O'Briens or the Mrs. Sheridans or whoever else that came into his life at different times, that comes through so clearly. And it's again a testament to the character of the man that we have here, that he can see, despite everything that happened to him, he can see the good in others, and he highlights the good in others at every available opportunity. And that was uplifting for me in reading the book, I have to say. Thank you. And not all of those people that are mentioned and all of the different characters. And the star of the show, if Michael doesn't mind me saying so, is here. Mary. It took such courage and character for Michael to get where he was. But I'd say he'd be the first one to admit that he was probably nearly at the end of his tether when it came to having gone through everything he went through and trying to move on until he met Mary, who actually almost revitalised him, renewed him, and brought him forward from that. And pay a tribute to Mary as well as Michael for that particular role she played in life. As I said, the book isn't easy to read. At the end of it, you will cry as you go through it. The natural reaction, I think, a lot of the time is just disbelief, shock that these kind of things could have happened. But overall, when you finish the book, I think at the end of it, the tears will be of joy in some senses, that somebody could come through that and be as normal as he is and can play reasonable golf as well as all of that. So it's a great pleasure for me, and I want to thank, well, it was Mary, I think, that grabbed me and said, will you launch this book? And I said I would. To thank them for the invitation to do the launch. I wouldn't have got to read this probably until Christmas or sometime as well. I made the effort over the last 2 or 3 days to read it. I'm glad that I did. And I would just say to every one of you that are here, you should buy it, you should read it, and you should circulate it to as many people as you possibly can. Michael deserves no less, and the people that Michael represents deserve no less. It is something that we should never forget. Something we should never forget. And I think the fact that we have Michael with us here, who has done this, who has emerged from this, should give us all some hope as well. So Michael, congratulations. It's a huge honour and a privilege for me to officially launch Holy Terror.